Hey, it's me, Grimmer. I kind of ran out of motivation and I had the script pre-recorded and I'm just playing Teardown over the surface of it and I'm gonna edit it somewhat nicely, but sit back and enjoy me talking and rambling about Peach Pit for a large amount of time. They're one of my favorite bands and I hope you enjoy them too. You should also listen to the album before you listen to this, but it's not that important. You can watch this too. You can definitely get away with watching this as your first Peach Pit exposure, and then go listen and see what you think. But you would get more from it if you already listened to the album. You know what? Enjoy. Peach Pit's first album takes place during a single day and focuses on our protagonist attending a party. The first track on Being So Normal, Drop the Guillotine, one of my personal favorites, happens at the beginning of our protagonist, the boy's day, as his best friend lets him know that he's seeing a girl who our protagonist was secretly interested in and has dated in the past. The guillotine refers to our friend dropping such large news on the boy, essentially cutting off his head. But the boy doesn't have much time to take a break and think. While preparing for the party in the song Being So Normal, the title track, he reminisces about the failed relationship he had with the girl and how they've both changed since then. Shown by referencing how he's grown out his hair and she's gotten tattoos. Please note how none of these are anything other than superficial changes, showing that the boy and the girl haven't actually really changed that much, and nothing can be salvaged from their past relationship. He contemplates missing the party by going to a Techno Show, the third track on the album, but after spending some time there, he decides against it, not wanting to interact with the world or the girl, who's also at the show, and friendlily invites him to dance, not sensing the tension between them. We see a theme of indecision and feigned indifference, as our protagonist only really seems to be interested in the music, and not in the socialization. He feels out of place, an idea later repeated on the track Private Presley. The song Alrighty Aphrodite, another one of my favorites, takes place as the protagonist either leaves the show or arrives at the party. He's filled with spite and anger towards the girl his friend is now talking to, and his failed relationship with her, though in my opinion it's fueled by his own indecision and self-hatred. He wants her to leave him alone and find someone else to tease, though the teasing is probably all in his head. The party has started. Chagu's sidearm starts with music that makes you want to move, but the first few lyrics don't exactly follow suit. The boy is wary of the party, and tired with the status quo he feels is imposed on him. As the song progresses, the boy becomes looser and looser, and begins to enjoy himself as he indulges in more illegal substances. The party is in full swing at Not Me, another one of my favorites. While the boy has indulged himself, he's still relatively aware of the situation, and finds himself admiring the girl he swore off earlier in the album. He does so in a self-aware way. She's always rocking a smile, haven't seen mine in a while. Goes to show how the boy feels about the situation, yet he just can't keep his mind off the girl as he watches her move around the party, despite the fact that he knows now that his pursuit is a lost cause due to their incompatibility. The boy finds himself in a secluded corner in the back of the party on the track Hot Knifer. He regrets his actions, somewhat, but he still feels bitter as he smokes alone. In the laid-back, relaxing track, we can imagine the boy himself is starting to become more mellow as he questions himself and the image of the girl he's built up in his head. He also reconciles the distance he feels towards his friend, finally deciding he's fine with their friendship drifting apart, ending. Hot Knifer leads into the album's penultimate song, Private Presley. The track begins with the boy presumably learning that his friends from the first track slept with the girl who the boy had been eyeing all night. The boy goes through a mix of emotion, yet the song ends as mellow as it started, despite the rush of emotions throughout the track, showing that the boy is pretty much past caring, or at least pretending that way. This song was the hardest to interpret, not due to poor writing, but due to the assumption that the boy is rather stoned right now and not totally lucid. Events taking place aren't always occurring at the same time as the party. I've heard theories that the boy is remembering the death of his mother, and feels like he's some Elvis Presley type figure in the spotlight, except that all the attention was imagined, and he's currently insulting a girl who a few hours ago he was smitten by. Tommy's Party is both the song's title and the location of the last track on the album. It's one of the best songs on this album and one of my favorite songs of all time. The party is winding down, and it is quite possibly the next morning. The boy is as drunk as hungover as he can be, and he's in a good mood despite the earlier events. He finds his friend from the first song and teases him. Despite this teasing, the boy feels distance from his friend, not really considering them close anymore, yet he assures his friend that he's doing alright. He keeps repeating, "Keeping up with you just like I used to." The conversation is largely one-sided, reflecting their relationship. He refers to their friendship in the past tense. The boy is moving on. As the song closes, he remembers how they used to talk about how unlucky they were in romance, how they were so lonely. And now the friend isn't lonely and the boy's been left behind. He's fine with that, though. The album is a melancholy affair, filled with bittersweet feelings of not exactly moving on yourself, but things moving on without you. The boy's friend has found someone who has essentially replaced him. It's a bigger stab in the back than that this person, the girl, is someone who the boy had dated in the past and currently has found feelings for again. The boy knows that due to his indecision, he's unable to speak to his friend about the situation or the girl. Regardless, he makes up his mind to avoid them both or just keep on moving on, even though that'll cost him his relationship with the boy, his friend, and the girl. Another theory I have about this album is that the boy is originally a lot closer to the friend than stated. In the last song, Tommy's Party, he says, "Just like I used to," in regards to the relationship with the girl the friend now has. But the friend is having intimate relations with the girl. So, did the boy and the friend formerly have a relationship? Is the boy bisexual? Does the betrayal hurt so heavily because the boy relationship with the friend went from lovers to friends, but still maintaining that connection, unlike the girl who went from lovers to not really friends? This album is deeply important to me. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. I highly resonate with all of the tracks. I have been affected by it a lot. Partly due to tracks such as Tommy's Party, which I feel very much, at times, have encapsulated how I felt about the world. The same with Hot Knifer. Hot Knifer is one of my favorite songs of all time. Chagu, Drop the Guillotine is a great song. It's the betrayal by a friend, being so normal. It's something that everybody's felt at some point. Having someone move on without you. And wondering if you could have that someone again. If you could be that someone for them. Techno Show is a pretty good track. Very loose, lackadaisical. It doesn't really stand out, though it doesn't need to. It's a transitionary track from the first two songs, which take place in wherever, to the rest of the songs, which take place at Tommy's Party. There is actually some interconnectedness from this album and Peach Pit's other album, which is You and Your Friends, which I believe takes place a few months after, or maybe directly after, as the boy maintains his new persona. I could talk a lot about this. Maybe I'll make another essay about that one. I'm actually doing really great right now. An admin on a hip-hop Instagram page. I'll put it in the comment. I'll put it in the description. And I'm currently doing really well for myself. I'm recording a lot of stuff. I'm getting a lot of stuff done. I'm really proud of myself. Thank you. I recorded a little bit back from the mic this time. Hope you guys noticed.